Hello, my name is Wojciech Leszner, and today I'm presenting Moving Sound, an adaptive spatial audio system. So let me play a teaser here. So you can see a moving speakers around the listener. And that was the general idea or what I'm proposing. You might ask why another custom spatial audio engine while we have existing tools such as IEM Spatial Audio Suite or SpotGris. But these two great open source tools don't allow you to move speakers in real time dynamically. And also there are some problems with audio routing. So my system is kind of like solving these two issues. And I want to also point out that this is interdisciplinary and it doesn't only apply to spatial audio, but it could be applied perhaps in the robotics as well. And I will talk about that later. Here you can see my question. So if the musicians can move on the stage, why not to move speakers basically? And I have chosen vector-based amplitude panning for this. That was developed by Ville Pulkki in 2011. And while not most physically realistic, this method is cheap in computation. So that's why I have chosen it for this real-time use case. Still, there are some problems with VBAP. And for example, there is a problem like if you have a virtual source in the center or near the centroid, then you can have a rapid oscillation between chosen pairs or triplets for 2D or 3D specifically. And so I have solved this by introducing a stickiness parameter, which is basically a weight that you assign to the virtual source, and that will try to prefer already selected pair or triplet, and it will only switch after this weight is exceeded, and you can adjust it to your liking. The VBAP advantage is that it allows for various speakers topologies for 2D and 3D as well. The only limitation or condition is that the shape has to be convex, but that's the only one. You can have like any layout you want. Another problem that arises when you try to move speakers is that suddenly the wires are a problem. So I have also developed a hardware for this that is based on ESP32. And I have implemented the VBAN protocol, that is open source protocol for audio, which is extremely low latency and uncompressed. So it delivers hi-fi audio in real time. Then we did an experiment that was more like a preliminary validation or a proof of concept. So we had tablets that served as a speakers just to showcase that you don't necessarily need our ESP32 developed receiver. You can have also existing device such as tablet. And then we moved these speakers around the listener and we were comparing static audio cue localization versus dynamic audio cue localization. So either the speakers were static or we were moving them around the listener in the circular pattern, and we were checking how well the listener can still or not tell from which direction the audio is coming. And here you can see a result. So we have basically the difference was less than 1 degree worse for moving speakers, and that's more or less inside the measurement error, and that kind of tells us that the concept is viable, but we need to do more testing. And that brings me to the next steps for this. And I want to implement this for arts. So now you can imagine you can have a performance where you can change the speaker's topologies in real time, or you can imagine that you can move the speakers from one room to another while the performance is developing along with the audiences. Another use case that comes into mind is robotics. So you can have a swarm of drones that would be using lasers to manipulate some small objects, and lasers in this case are basically the same as VBAP algorithm, so it could be directly applied there. And what I want to do next is also use psychophysical measurement to find out the limits of human hearing. That will kind of like when the spatial audio illusion will break, at what speed of movement of the speakers. So that needs to be found out. I thank you for your attention, and if you want to collaborate, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm super excited about all the possibilities that this brings, and I'm looking out for questions.